What's up, Art Squad? Welcome back to another video. It's your boy Silence here, and you know what? After finally finishing chapter 1 of my manga, Gravitos, I thought to myself, you know, it was a long process on doing chapter 1, but I also learned a lot. So why not make a video on 5 quick tips on drawing manga pages? But first, let's play that intro. Alright guys, tip number 1 is going to be draw your storyboards smaller. I see a lot of people drawing their storyboards in the actual like canvas size of or the actual size of like what you're gonna put your manga as. I think drawing it in a small form or like a small box makes it so much easier. It makes it so that if you do a mistake or if you want to change the pose or whatever, it makes it so you can do it quicker and you can try more things, because the bigger you draw, the harder it's gonna be to change it, and you're gonna draw it and you're just gonna be like, you know what, I don't feel like changing it. You're gonna commit to that. But when you're drawing it small, you're not gonna be as committed to it, and it's gonna be easier to change. So I think that works a lot. That'll help you a lot with, you know, the storyboarding process and changing different scenes and changing compositions and everything. I know when I first started, when I drew my first manga, I was drawing it in like the actual like canvas size of it, and it was just like so much to change. Like say if I wanted to change a scene or whatever, it took me forever to change. And I was just like, you know what, I looked up I was watching a Whyt manga video and I seen how he was storyboarding, so I was just like, you know, let me spend the $2-3 or however much it was on his Gumroad, I believe. And then he has like a little manga template, but you don't even have to buy that. I was just lazy. You could just literally like put a box and then like put multiple boxes, small boxes, and literally just draw into that one. But yeah, quick tip number 1 for sure is draw your storyboards smaller. All right, this tip is more for digital artists and people that are using Clip Studio Paint. If you're not using Clip Studio Paint and you want to draw manga, I don't know what you're doing, because Clip Studio Paint is literally the best drawing software for drawing manga out there. And so using your asset store on Clip Studio Paint, all the people out there that are drawing with Clip Studio Paint, you know how OP that asset store is. You can get everything from brushes to buildings to, I don't know, the sky's the limit on the asset store. And I think it's so dope on how Clip Studio Paint uses it, and you can literally use it in your manga. Like in chapter 1 of Gravitos, I used a building model to make it easier for you know, drawing my buildings and not having to like do it repetitively, or like, you know what I'm saying, like using assets can help like make your manga faster. I use a blood splat tool. I'm using that right now for chapter 2, and it's just making everything flow easier. And I think if you want to draw manga, you should seriously be using the asset store for Clip Studio, because man, that thing is so OP. And some stuff is like paid, but the other stuff you can literally get for free. Mostly everything you can get is for free. So please use that asset store. Please use that Clip Studio asset store, and I promise you'll thank me later. Using the ruler tool and the perspective tool is also literally broken. Like you can draw speed lines stupid quick, and you can also draw buildings, perspective, everything literally super quick. Like in Clip Studio, I think is a major asset of using it to draw your backgrounds. Like you could use the asset, but if you wanted to actually draw your buildings and everything, using the perspective tool could literally give you a perspective, like a background, in like half the time. I'm not saying that you don't have to. You can go the traditional route, like for the traditional artists drawing manga. I mean, hey, it's up to you. But I feel like, especially if you have like deadlines on your manga, you should use tools that make it quicker. And drawing digitally using Clip Studio is probably the way to go, in my opinion. Not saying that drawing traditionally is bad, but you know, drawing the background, everything will flow faster by using it digitally. But using the perspective tool and a ruler tool can save you so much time, and literally using it in I wish I used it in my previous stories, like even my webcomics, my mangas that I tried to do or that I've done, but I started using it more like recently, maybe within like the last like year or two. Been using the ruler tool and the perspective tool heavy, but it also helps you, like you also have to know perspective as well. Like if you know 1 point, 2 point, 3 point perspective, using the tool is literally gonna just guide your hand and like make sure you knock it out pretty quickly. I think it's important for you to actually know perspective. It's not just gonna magically give you a background using the perspective tool, but you should know like the general basics of 1 point, 2 point, 3 point before you start manipulating and using the tool to your advantage. All right, guys, the next tip I'm gonna give you. The next quick tip is going to be studying composition from your favorite manga artist or webcomic artist, whatever. I think studying from a professional or somebody that you would want to be like or draw like is important, because you actually learn, like studying their work, studying, like for example, I study a lot of Yusuke Murata's work. As you know on the channel, I always gush about Yusuke Murata. I study his panels, especially his action panels, because I'm gonna have a lot of action panels coming up in Gravitos. So I study those panels and the composition and everything, and I feel like it's helping me not only level up my art, but also showing me what I'm doing wrong and how to manipulate their style and find a new way to innovate, like a new composition or perspective, or you know, try to create something new. That's usually how it works. Like your favorite artist, believe it or not, had somebody that that was their inspiration, and so they took that inspiration from that person, they studied that person and created their style. And then now, you know, I want to be like Yusuke Murata. I'm studying his style, and then, so I'm gonna create something that's to me, and hopefully in the future somebody wants to, you know, have my type of style and they study off of me. But studying off of your favorite artist and could help you grow super quick. And I'm not talking about just like, you know, binge reading like a manga or something, but actually going and analyzing each panel and seeing where are they placing the speech bubble, where are they placing speed lines, where are they placing, you know, like the character. This is a whole bunch of stuff, and I can also, I can make a whole nother video on all that, like that topic of like where to put everything at in a manga video, because I'm learning as I go, as I get better at drawing manga. Because to me, the best way to get better at drawing manga is to literally start drawing manga. Literally, if you haven't watched that, watch the video that I posted, the last video that I posted. That it'll like literally help you. Like, you just have to draw manga in order to get better. But yeah, for this tip, study your favorite artist, and trust and believe you'll get better really quick. All right, so for the last quick tip I have for you is to have fun. Drawing a manga it's time consuming, it's hard. Trust me, I know, like, people could judge your manga or whatever, but they don't really know how it is unless they actually create one. It's a hard thing, and honestly, I feel like finishing that first chapter is literally a milestone. Like, if you can finish the first chapter of your manga, you're literally a comic book illustrator. So, but you know, you have to find ways to have fun in the process. You got to make the process fun. You know, drawing manga to me is like literally like so fun. Like, just creating problems, and literally you find the problems, you create the solutions, you draw on it. Everything is just so fun, and I encourage everybody to have fun while, you know, making your art, making your manga, making your comics. And I'm telling you guys, if you guys have any, like, if you're doing your own comic, please post it in Discord. Come join the Discord. I want to see you guys' work. And I want to get inspired off of seeing other creators' work. So please, the link in the Discord, it's gonna be in the description. But yeah, honestly, you just have to have fun. Get into the drawing mode, lock in, and and have fun. That's literally the best advice for me to tell you on literally to create your first chapter or just to create manga in general. And honestly, there's a lot more like quick tips or just tips on how to like draw manga, and like I said, I'm learning as I go. If you guys want me to make another video like this with other tips, let me know in the comment section below. I have a lot of ideas. I got a lot of things I want to do with the channel. As you guys know, I've been streaming. You know, I'm starting to get on these YouTube shorts. You know, I'm so much stuff. I'm working on Gravity Tales chapter 2. So you know, just come follow me on my journey, my art journey, and I also want to see you guys grow on your art journey too. So that's why I'm a big advocate on like just, you know, I like to chill and draw. So I encourage you guys to come hang out with me and my boys and everybody in the Discord. You know, it's a good vibes. And yeah, pretty much I think I'm wrapping it up for the video, guys. If you guys have any comments, leave it in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, please guys. I want to grow this channel. Share it to your mama, share it to your auntie, share it to everybody, guys. I want to, you know, I want to pretty much show the world that, you know, AI is here, but we're not worried about that. I want to show that us humans, us creatives, have a way to create and have a pathway to create. So you guys just get it. There's a lot of things coming. Please like and subscribe, share it to everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.